Did you know that by 2060, the Muslim population is expected to grow more than twice as fast as the global population, making Islam the largest religion in the world? Even though there are over 2 billion Muslims, there are still countries where simply being Muslim can put you on the wrong side of the border. Yes, it sounds unbelievable, but there are countries with policies or unofficial practices that make it really tough for Muslims to visit. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 countries where Muslims face serious restrictions or are banned in 2024. Number 10, North Korea. North Korea is a mysterious country and doesn't make it easy for Muslims or anyone else to practice their religion. The government is very secretive and tightly controls all religions. There aren't specific laws against Muslims, but practicing any religion openly is almost impossible. Visitors may face close monitoring and strict rules. Number 9, Slovakia. Slovakia, a small European country, made headlines a few years ago when its government declared that Islam had no place in the country. There's no outright ban on Muslim visitors, but the lack of mosques and the government's stance can make it feel like a cold place for Muslims. Number 8, Bhutan. Bhutan, a small kingdom in the Himalayas, has a state religion of Buddhism and is known for its strict policies on maintaining cultural and religious homogeneity. The government has a history of restricting the practice of religions other than Buddhism, and while there isn't a formal ban on Muslims, the lack of religious freedom makes it nearly impossible for Muslims to practice their faith in Bhutan. Number 7, India. India is a vast country with a deep history, but for some Muslims, the experience can be complicated. There's no official ban on Muslim visitors, but certain regions, especially where Hindu-Muslim tensions are high, might not feel very welcoming. The ongoing communal tensions and the rise of Hindu nationalism have made it challenging for some Muslims to feel safe. Number 6, Myanmar. First up, Myanmar. For years, the Muslim Rohingya population has faced persecution, and while there's no official ban on Muslims entering the country, the atmosphere is intensely hostile. The government's harsh stance towards Muslims makes it nearly impossible for them to visit safely. Number 5, Armenia. Armenia has a complicated history with its Muslim neighbors, particularly Turkey and Azerbaijan. This historical tension translates into a cold reception for Muslims, especially Turks and Azerbaijanis. While there's no outright ban, Muslims might find it extremely challenging to gain entry. Number 4, Angola. Angola is a country where Islam isn't recognized as an official religion. The government has reportedly closed mosques and cracked down on Muslim practices. While there isn't a publicized ban, Muslims attempting to enter Angola might find themselves facing substantial obstacles. Number 3, Japan. Japan doesn't have an official ban on Muslims, but the country's stringent immigration policies and lack of understanding of Islam can make it difficult for Muslims to gain entry. Some have faced issues obtaining visas, and there's a general lack of accommodation for Muslim practices. Number 2, San Marino. San Marino, one of the world's smallest countries, has a predominantly Christian population and very little religious diversity. While not officially banned, Muslims might find it challenging to enter or practice their faith openly due to the lack of facilities and a generally unaccommodating environment. Number 1, China. China's treatment of its Muslim population, especially the Uyghurs, has been widely criticized around the world. The government closely watches, detains, and controls Muslim practices. Muslims, particularly from certain regions, often face strong restrictions when trying to enter the country. So there you have it, countries where being Muslim can make travel tough or even impossible. But remember, the world is always changing, and these rules might shift over time. Stay hopeful and keep pushing for a world where everyone can travel and practice their faith freely.